Second up.
John Conteh, the young man who hopes one day to be the heavyweight champion of Britain. Dark-skinned Conteh meeting here his first British opponent in his 10 pro fights, Billy Aird of Liverpool, who only accepted this fight about 4 hours ago. It's 10 o'clock at night in the Albert Hall, and at 6 p.m. tonight, Aird finally agreed to take the fight. Substitutes for Dave Hallinan, who's got an injured ankle. Tremendous efforts all day long to get an opponent for Conteh, and finally Aird agreed. I imagine it took quite a bit of money to persuade him, because Conteh is one of the leading prospects in the country, just 21 a few days ago. The new so-called golden boy of British boxing, who's reputed to have cost £10,000 as a signing-on fee when he turned pro with manager George Francis. Aird with the dark boots, a confident sort of character who made a little bit of headline news a few months ago when he took the place of Joe Bugner against an American opponent and got a draw with him. Both of these men from Liverpool, and both of them now living in London. Conteh surprisingly light tonight. He's been trying to come in at above 13 stone lately in his bid to build up to heavyweight, but tonight he only scales 12 stone 12 3/4, which rather raises doubts whether he'll ever be a fully fledged heavyweight. Certainly doesn't seem to have the frame of a heavyweight boxer. Billy Aird noted for skill rather than punch.
Beat back, Johnny!
Conteh getting through with these sharp right-hand crosses. Just like that. So the 21-year-old Conteh, who really is a fine prospect. 9 fights, 9 wins, and all of those wins bar one have come inside the distance. Born in Liverpool, his father comes from Sierra Leone. His father's a welder. His mother comes from Bootle. And now young John has a flat to himself in Highgate in North London, and he's with manager George Francis, who's working on him in the corner now.
Second up, round 2.
So not much to choose between them on the first round. Interesting fight this, and good substitute opponent Aird. Apart from the fact that he's the first British opponent that Conteh's met. He's got a tremendous weight advantage here, Aird. He goes 14 stone 8, which means he's got 23 1/4 pounds on Conteh, and that's a tremendous amount. If Aird could get that jab working into Conteh's face, he could do quite a lot of damage with it, with that much weight behind it. Conteh's got the speed on him. Conteh usually beating Aird to the punch. Conteh using his speed, moving in and out, getting the punches home and then escaping before Aird has time to counter. And the speed of Conteh now is beginning to baffle Billy Aird. This is a very graphic illustration of the extra speed that a lighter man can develop. So a very clear round indeed for Conteh. And things not looking too good for Aird at the moment. Billy Aird of Liverpool, 26 years old, so he's 5 years older than Conteh. Heavyweight champion of the central area, living now in London, in South London, at New Cross. 16 professional fights, he's won 12, drawn 1 and lost 3. When he took Joe Bugner's place, actually in this ring, he fought Ted Gullick last December. It didn't turn out to be a very good fight. It was a rather dreary affair, and it was a drawn decision. But nonetheless, Billy Aird very much in the limelight during that fight, taking the place of Bugner.
Seconds up. Round 3.
So somehow now Aird has got to try to make this weight advantage, 23¼ pounds, tell against the faster Conteh. He's got to get some punches in somehow and try to reduce the speed of this young man, who at the moment is dancing rings round him, literally. Actually, Conteh did some sparring recently with the big American heavyweight Larry Middleton. So that should have given him some experience of handling a bigger man, and it looks as though it hasn't done him any harm. He's handling Aird with considerable ease and brimming over with confidence. First sign of some aggression from Aird. He was stood at bay there against the ropes and suddenly fought back, and that's what he's got to do. Aird at some time or other has got to chance his arm here and start throwing some punches. But he seems to be completely baffled by the superior speed of Conteh. Well, there's a tremendous swagger of confidence about Conteh as he goes back to his corner, and it's hardly surprising because in these 3 rounds he's really shown the way home here against Aird, and unless Billiard gets to work soon, this fight's going to slip almost hopelessly away from him. There's a slight graze underneath the left eye of Conteh, nothing serious.
Seconds up. Round 4.
Well, I don't know what manager Bobby Neal has been telling Billiard, but surely the instructions have got to come to open up soon. He can't go on just being defensive. And it looks as though the decision's been made and Aird is going to start to take the fight to Conteh. Be interesting to see what happens if Aird can keep an attack going and to force Conteh back. See what sort of job Conteh makes of being forced to go back and fight going back. Something we don't yet know about him. Bit of a swelling under Aird's left eye. Conteh finds that swelling with a right cross there. Aird badly out of distance with every jab, every right hand he throws. And Aird now beginning to feel the effects of that swelling, brushing at it rather anxiously with the right hand. See that puffiness coming up underneath the left eye there. Well, that left eye of Aird's now is not looking at all good, and if it gets any worse, he might well find that eye shut on him. Conteh doing all the right things. Well outweighed here, but never getting to close quarters with Ed if he can help it. Using his footwork and fast punching, nipping in and out, doing most of the scoring and keeping out of harm's way. Maneuver. He changed his footwork there, got on the wrong foot, tried to throw the right hand and nearly stumbled over. That was a very un-Conteh-like move. Right out of his rawest amateur days, that one. As though he's quite happy to slug it out with the heavier man, and I'm wondering if that's very wise. Absolutely prepared now to take Ed on at his own game. There's certainly signs here that when Ed does come forward to throw a few punches, it keeps Conteh quiet for a bit. Ed looking a little more determined, but not really doing much scoring. Conteh was twice an ABA champion in 1970 and 71, and he also won a gold medal in the Edinburgh Commonwealth Games in 70. The only man to take him the distance so far is America's Tony Burwell. That was at Nottingham last November, the night that Joe Bugner got his jaw broken. But signs here perhaps that he might have to go all the way, right through these 8 rounds with Ed. So 3 to go between Conteh, the white boots, and Ed, the 2 Liverpudlians, now living in London. The small heavyweight and the big heavyweight, and the small heavyweight getting the better of it. Ed's left glove absolutely saturated with water. ring.
Break!
Conteh now has kept up a pretty fast pace for 6 rounds. No sign of it slackening. Again, he tries that change of foot there, that change of step, and it doesn't work, and it's very, very ungainly. A little better for Aird this time. He's come into it a bit more, but he's got a lot to do. Billy Aird looking a little bit dispirited, and I'm not surprised. He's had this man buzzing around him like an angry wasp for 6 rounds, and he hasn't found a way to deal with him. He hasn't been able to slap him down. Why Conteh does this funny little change of step, I don't know. This is the way it happens. Look at that. Whether it's a sort of an attempt at an Ali shuffle, I don't know, but if it is, it doesn't come off.
Seconds up. Round 7.
2 to go. And Aird's chances now, the time for him running out rapidly. He's got to attack. Aird's never been beaten inside the distance, and it doesn't look as though Conteh is going to break that record.
Break! Break!
Altogether more testing for Conteh, incidentally, than some of the foreign imports that he's had. John Chandler won't stand for any more of that. Keep it open, keep it clean, and when I say break, break. That will be the gist of the message. Conteh getting just a little bit flashy now. Apart from that funny change of step we've seen, he's now beginning to make a few funny little motions with the left hand, as though he's showing off a little bit. Tries a little of the fancy sidestepping stuff. There's a good right hand there from Conteh. This trickle of blood on Conteh's face seems to be coming from the side of his nose. Mark underneath Aird's left eye.
Right! Step back!
And I think Aird's left eye, the swelling underneath the left eye, has burst open now. So all in all, it's a very rugged and tough night for this man who only took this fight 4 hours ago. Trouble now. That eye is looking bad, and he's looking very, very tired and unhappy, and the eye dripping blood as he sinks back on the stool. You can see for yourself the sort of state it's in. Might even be cut above as well as below. I'm not very sure. It looks as though it is. Don Chandler, the referee, coming to have a look at that. This might well prevent Air coming out for the last round. It looks pretty bad. I think he's got a double cut there. It looks over and under to me. It's all right. Chandler walks away, and Aird is coming out for the final round. Conteh with that slight damage near his nose. So the last 3 minutes now.
Second up.
Can't wait to get at each other. So, John Conteh, the unbeaten prospect from Liverpool, 9 fights, 9 wins, conceding 23¼ pounds here against Billy Aird, the man who only agreed to take the fight at 6 o'clock tonight. Now really is putting the finishing touches to this in a stylish manner. And I think it's all over. The eye is too bad for Aird to continue. And for the first time in his professional career, Billy Aird is beaten inside the distance by John Conteh, 21, just a few days ago, meeting his first British opponent tonight and doing a really workmanlike job on him. But there again, you have to remember that the opponent only took the fight at the very last moment.